Welcome to the Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three guys are watching rom-comedies for the first time ever, mostly. I'm Corey Cavan.
I'm Kevin.
My name is John.
I'm going to be like Cher.
Dude, you're going to
Kevin.
share whatever.
As if.
Dude, share rips. I'm loving this movie. Can't wait to see how it ends.
I know. Today we finished Clueless.
She's so hot.
Today we finished Clueless. She's so hot is she's all that. She's so hot.
I
it's
loved
not the
Rachel Lee
movie.
Cook too. These are all the girls I fell in love with. The most.
You need to have a side podcast just called Kevin Reminisces.
Yeah, it's
over.
like everything. Like it was Kristen Davis. It was,
We
Kristen
saw-
Davis was new, but she reminds me of. I like
We
cute
saw-
90s girls.
We saw Batman recently, and when Zoe Kravitz came on screen, you just turned to me in the theater and you go, "She's so hot."
She is.
You kind
Zoe
of sound,
Kravitz.
You
is-
kind of sound like a high school girl when you say it. Like the way you say it, you're like, "She's so hot."
She's so hot.
just a little vocal fry.
She's so hot.
Wow, she is.
That's
She
funny.
still is. I'm looking at her Instagram now.
Yeah, tell what's on her Instagram.
Yeah.
She has her podcast.
She has a podcast?
Dude, she's totally fucking copying off us. Listen to this.
The Real Heal, my podcast, which is about
We've had a podcast for years, Alicia. It's called The Real Heal.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but
to heal our communities, ourselves,
I like
and our planet. I'm really happy about it, and I hope that you'll listen.
Dude,
yeah,
we're
this
totally
just
gonna
in.
listen.
If you have a podcast, you're copying us
Yeah,
straight
exactly.
up. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
We're the only ones allowed to have podcasts.
Yeah, come on, listen up, Mark Maron.
Yeah.
Come on. Listen up.
Daniel Barbaro.
Come on, Brené Brown. Everybody, sit down.
I want to
Sit
see
down,
how many
Brown.
reviews. How many reviews do you think The Real Heal has?
The Real Heal.
I'll look it up. You go, Corey. I want to look up how.
All right. Well, one thing, we are there's a couple articles out there.
Let's not
about
shit talk the
Clueless.
Real Heel. Let's just get her on the pod.
I'm not shit talking it.
Well, what you're doing right now is you're trying to look up how many reviews she has to see if we have more to make yourself feel better.
No, I don't. She has 2 million Instagram followers, and she's a Hollywood icon. She's gonna be fine.
Yeah, but you're Kevin Doyle.
I want to know who. I want to see what her podcast is about. I'm not making fun of it.
You better not, because I subscribe.
Okay.
I'm a Real Heel patron.
So there's a couple things. There's a couple things that happen.
I thought it was a podcast about heels and wrestling, though, like the bad guys. And
Hi,
I'm
this is
like,
The Real Heel, where I'm going to talk about some of the best bad guys in professional wrestling.
That's what I thought it was. I want my money back.
It's that and shoes.
Today we talk about Kane. Is he a heel or is he a hero? Was Kane a heel or a hero?
Dude, I have a check from Kane in my office because he is the mayor or governor of a city
Yeah, he is, I believe.
that
Yeah.
now licensed the
Tennessee?
curriculum that I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at that. All right. I'm not going to read off all the ones from this article about Clueless. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of articles that say, like, did it hold up? Or what are the things we noticed? I'm not going to read off some because it will spoil a few things that we haven't seen yet since we're finishing Clueless today.
Okay.
And I've already seen Clueless, so it's not a
Yeah, don't
for me.
spoil.
Okay. The first one, which I really like, it says, this is from The List.
Ooh.
The List. I'm guessing it's thelist.com. It's more empowering than you'd think.
Okay.
It says, surprise, even though Cher, a stereotypically teenage girl who's obsessed with shopping and makeovers, Clueless passes the Bechdel test with flying colors. That is true. There's definitely, I mean, it's, in a lot of ways,
We've talked about the Bechdel test before, but refresh us as to what the Bechdel test is.
the Bechdel test is female characters having a conversation on screen that doesn't have to do with other men in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there are tons of conversations about like the social structures at school. I think there's conversation in the first part about fashion and just like what they can do to make over Ty. There's conversations.
That comes from Kate Beckinsdale.
Yeah,
from,
yeah, it's
from
Kate
the
Beckinsale.
Underworld movies.
Yeah, and it came because her and Pete Davidson were talking about women in movies.
Yeah.
And he was like, every time I'm with you, I talk about women in movies. And she was like, that's my test. You passed.
You passed.
And you know, Kate Beckinsale is very hot. And that's what I thought when I watched Serendipity.
There you go.
But yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
It totally does.
And I think in general, it's like I guess it's an adaptation of Emma, but it's also kind of a satire of. It seems like it's like a satire of a lot of things, a lot of high school things, where like you would think you would think Cher is supposed to be like dumb and ditzy,
Mm-hmm.
and they play her like that, but she's actually, very.
She's super smart.
I mean, the whole first scene is about her like getting her grades redone through the powers of persuasion.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
She
That's
brings up
real
a
life
good, she
skills.
brings up like a good. She when in her debate class, she does a speech on violence, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
She also remembers like Hamlet, the characters from Hamlet, really well. So I'm impressed with Cher as a character.
What does this one say?
This next one, it just says another thing we noticed: Cher and Dee's driving is actually really dangerous. When she runs over a hydrant, yeah,
If I had
it's
to-
pretty bad.
if I had
she
to-
only has a permit.
I'm not saying my life is any better, but I like my life.
Right.
If I had to go on the list and write articles like that, I'd fucking kill myself. One thing I noticed is that the writing in this the driving in this broad comedy is actually very dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what a
Did you guys
I
see the
know.
video that came out this week of the Tesla that like drives up a big hill and then like
yeah.
No,
it like
Oh,
flew
we'll show you.
like
It's
10
crazy.
feet in the air and then came down and hit a bunch of cars.
wow, did
It
people
was
die?
probably Cher driving that
Probably
Tesla.
was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
actually really dangerous. Okay,
That-
here's another great one from the article. The teaching profession is not respected.
Gosh, who? Don't say the name,
I'm
but
not
we got to
gonna-
see who else. What this writer writes. This is such phone it in.
The teaching profession is not well respected throughout the film. For one, Cher is constantly arguing with her teachers to get her grades changed, which professors really don't like, as it's an attempt to undermine their authority. Okay, I feel like we got to
See,
get
you know what's
article.
interesting about these articles too, is that a lot of times you'll notice all of the stuff is from the first few scenes. So they just watch the
Oh,
first 10
interesting.
minutes.
That's
true.
So it's like that's the first scene. It's like, okay, here's this. The driving is from the first
Yes, that's
5
true.
minutes.
Dude, all this stuff
Find that
is just
person's
like-
name and let's email them.
It's
They
just
do
like an
better at your
algorithm.
job.
It's like you need to find 13 things. It needs to be this many words. The
Yeah.
title needs to be 17 characters. It's just like
Yeah.
All right,
all
we're
the
going to go to
stuff.
this other article on Vulture that says Clueless is a great teen movie. It's also a satire about the white and wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say this movie has more diversity than a lot of movies in the past 20 years do, though.
Especially about high school kids, because I feel like there were a lot of, there were a lot of high school kid movies in the 90s that were definitely, well, I guess it was always like white high school kids and like one non-white friend. But I would say this one definitely has more diversity.
totally.
Yeah.
For a movie in 1995,
Yeah, true.
it's insane that you don't really have to even think about it.
It's got Paul Rudd and Breckenmeyer.
Yeah,
one.
that's crazy. It's got Wallace Shawn. There's bald people.
There's bald people.
There's blonde hair, brown hair. They're brunettes.
Yeah.
Um,
Redhead?
it is-
Ty's a redhead?
it is funny.
Clueless. Directed by Amy Heckerling. Shallow, rich, and socially successful Cher, played by Alicia Silverstone, is at the top of her Beverly Hills school's pecking scale. Seeing herself as a matchmaker, Cher first coaxes two teachers into dating each other. Emboldened by her success, she decides to give hopelessly klutzy new student Ty, played by Brittany Murphy, a makeover. When Ty becomes more popular than she is, Cher realizes that her disapproving ex-stepbrother, played by Paul Rudd, was right about how misguided she was. And she falls for him. And now, back to the boys.